It's about the restoration of our republic. We want to educate, encourage, enable the power. We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
Good morning, America. You're listening to America's Voice Now. My name is Michael. I'm your host for this morning. And we are going to have a unique guest with us this morning. Lynette Pate is the speaker and author and the organic guru. She has a website called Fuel for the Body. And I encourage you to join us for this morning's show and learn and understand more about what this program is and what Lynette is doing in reference to her different programs. She has an upcoming event in April that would be appropriate for you to attend. It'll be at the White House Theater in Branson. And she has a program called Fuel for the Body Bike Tour. And she rides around the country educating folks about nutritional issues, self-reliance, and those types of areas. So good morning, Lynette. Are you with us?
I am. Good morning, Michael. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for joining with us this morning.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So you have a kind of a unique program, and you've got a lot of different facets to it. And you have I met you originally in Thayer at the Go Green Festival,
yes,
where you folks were promoting a bike tour that you were doing. So,
yes, whenever.
You ride around the country on a bike.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yes, yes indeed. Bike / half support vehicle whenever we get called to do so many events. Sometimes it's hard to stay on the bike because we have to get to the destinations. The first 2 tours, I was on the bike all the time,
Right.
But as they built up, the events got more and the requests got more, so we had to improvise. It's not about pedaling per se, all of the actual single miles. It's all about the awareness that we are on the bicycle more than we are in the support vehicle. I will say that, and the bike tours last 30 to 45 days, and we go anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 miles. And the one that I met you on, Michael, we had just come from Minneapolis, Minnesota, down through the Midwest, and Michael Slack had invited us to do the Go Green Festival and speak and demonstrate over there, so we took a little detour over to Thayer, Missouri, as we headed our way down to Arkansas and Jackson, Mississippi.
Gotcha.
So anyway, yes, the bicycle tours, they do have many branches off of it because they are awareness tours. We do stop and we do speak in colleges and high schools and random events to educate and enlighten the public on why it's important to be organic and sustainable and what the difference is between organic and non-organic, because you and I may take it for granted, but 85 to 90% of the population really have no clue of why it's important. They just think it's a hippie, guru, yuppie type of New Age food, and they also have no idea what GMOs are, which are genetically modified organisms, and they don't have an idea that who Monsanto is either, and that they're the creators of Agent Orange and Roundup. So that's what our tours are about, enlightening the public, speaking out against Monsanto, standing up for our food and health freedoms, because as I discussed with you before, Michael, if you control the food supply, you control the people. And a sick nation will surely fall, but a healthy nation can rise above all. So our message and mission is to get the nation healthy and help them to understand. And we've actually made very good strides in our tours because we've got introduced to the public that would not have otherwise heard our message, and the college students are scratching their heads. Different organizations are scratching their heads saying, wait a minute, so all of this is actually poison to us, and GMOs really are not good, like the FDA says, because 85 to 90% of the population relies on the FDA and what our government says is best for them, and they take that as truth. So that's where we come into play. Yes.
I find it amazing how many folks really just don't understand the implications of GMOs and what's actually in their food. I mean, when I look at the problem of diabetes in our country, when I look at the problems that are associated with Alzheimer's, when I look at the problems that are associated with obesity, all of these issues are directly related to our food supply. I get it, people are lazier now than they were, but never in history have we had so many people so obese and so overweight and so much diabetes in one generation or two generations. And
exactly.
It is directly related to our food, and it is directly related to the food supply and the hormones and the stuff that they're putting into our food. And I mean, it's an undeniable fact. You don't have to, I have a magazine here that I look at once in a while, and it covers, the community from the 60s and the 50s and things like that. And if you look through there, you won't find anybody in it who's fat. It's amazing the number of folks that or the few who were actually heavy, and they were usually, elderly grandmothers or something like that, But I mean, for the most part, the vast majority of people in the country have never seen the kind of weight gains that we have seen. And we have, young kids that are in the 2 and 3 and 400 pound range. And I mean, it's not surprising that we have a rash of diabetes and a rash of heart disease and all of these other issues that are associated with not only obesity and overweight, but also with the food that we're eating. I mean, the idea of Alzheimer's disease. I mean, all of this is directly related to our food supply. And
yes, it is.
To me, it's truly amazing how many people are completely ignorant of that fact.
They are.
In high schools, we have the first lady going around and saying we have food deserts and all of that kind of thing. But the simple truth of the matter is that it's not necessarily a question of how much you eat, it's what you're eating. And she wants to, restrict these schools to these nutty diets that are, cut the caloric intake. But it's not the caloric intake, it's the content of the caloric intake.
Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you said that. That's exactly what I talk about in my books and seminars. Calorie, fat grams, point grams, counting, all of that should be obsolete. Food should not be rocket science, but the government has made it rocket science because everybody's allergic to everything, but it's not the foods that they're allergic to. It's not the foods that are making them fat. It's the fake food industry. It's the toxins in the food. It's the fungus that non-organic food holds and harbors. So it's not the calories, it's not the fat grams, it's the quality, just like you said. That's exactly what I speak about.
Now, you have a book that you've written called Fuel for the Body as well.
Yes.
And is that available on like Amazon or where can folks?
It's available on Amazon.com, Fuel for the Body. It's also available via my website, fuelforthebody.org, all spelled out, fuelforthebody.org. And yes, they're available, and they'll be available at our Gala and Festival coming up in April. And that's actually what my bicycle tours were formed on, is Fuel for the Body. So my bicycle tours took a twist, saying Fuel for the Body, not your car. And my book, the subtitle is called Lose Weight the Pate Way, but it's not really about losing weight. Fuel for the Body helps the person to lose weight if they need to, gain weight if they need to, and ultimately gain optimum health and get them healthy. And I have 13, actually now 14 chapters, because we've added a skincare chapter in there. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. But I have the other 13 chapters. Yeah, people fail to realize that your skin is your largest organ.
It's an interesting way to look at it, though. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin, right? So when you look at all these creams and nonsense that they sell you, that these vastly inflated prices, you got to wonder whether or not a lot of that kind of thing is detrimental to your external organs as well as your internal. I mean, it says right on there, not for internal use, right? So why is it good for external use?
Thank you. And you see even the medical doctors are using the nicotine patches. They're using different patches and different things that go on the skin because it absorbs much more quickly.
Sure.
So if they're doing that with medicines, then why in the world would you put that stuff in your skin? And I'm not knocking anyone, Michael, because I was on that side of the fence just 8 to 9 years ago, because I was the account regional executive for a large cosmetic company, and I was teaching our beauty advisors. I was one of the trainers to teach them why these wonderful chemicals were so good for your skin, because we teach what we're taught.
Sure.
So I'm not knocking anyone that uses those horrible chemicals. I just want you to stop doing it, because once you know, then it's like,
sure,
why
then
would you
then
do it?
then you got to stop. Hey, listen,
Exactly.
we're gonna take a quick break, folks. When we come back, we'll speak more with Lynette about her upcoming program in Branson. We'll be right back.
From Bob Dylan to Whitney Houston to Alicia Keys, he has seen it all on the next Alan Combs Show. From humble beginnings, he became one of the most powerful men in the music industry. Legend Clive Davis is here with a behind-the-scenes look at 5 decades in the business, plus what happens to your hard-earned dollars when you give them to charity on the next Alan Combs Show.
Weekdays 9 to midnight. It's the Alan Combs Show on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1 The Point.
And at westplainspond.com.
All right, we return. We're talking this morning with Lynette Pate. She is the owner, purveyor, and creator of fuelforthebody.org. Now, the fuelforthebody.org is a website where you can gather a lot of information about nutritional issues, how you can utilize food to improve the quality of your life, how you can avoid those foods that are detrimental to you. And in addition to that, Lynette also has fuelforthebody.net. And the .net site is for the upcoming event that is going to be happening. It's a health dinner, gala, and a silent auction that's going to be held at the White House Theater in Branson on April 12th. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
It is.
So, folks, the doors open at 4 p.m. There's going to be a silent auction and a vendor shopping opportunity, and then appetizers and that kind of thing. There will also be a group of speakers. Am I correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so the idea of what you're trying to do here with the gala is to raise money for your basically your anti-cancer, American Anti-Cancer Institute. And I love the name there because, you know, we all hear about the American Cancer Institute, and we know that they raise literally, I mean, over the years they've raised billions of dollars, and yet in many areas we haven't really made a dent in cancer. I mean, there's some areas where we have. Breast cancer is one particular example where we've made some medical headway in terms of early identification and treatment and things like that. But there are many, many, many other cancers that we haven't even put a dent in, and there are a lot of them that and the treatment systems that we put people through who have cancer, I think, in most cases are worse than the actual disease. And so when you talk about the American Anti-Cancer Institute, I like the concept there because, you know, it's almost like the idea of cancer is that at this point in time, there's so much money in it, they really almost don't want to find a cure for it. You know, there's almost a conflict of interest there.
Yes.
So your idea on the American Anti-Cancer Institute, give me a little bit of a understanding about what that program is and what it does.
Okay, Michael. Yes, I am actually the ambassador, the regional ambassador for the American Anti-Cancer Institute. So I go around the nation as well on my bicycle helping to get awareness for their facility as well as obviously the bike tours and our message. So this is our very first gala ever for the American Anti-Cancer Institute. Bob Wright founded this in Washington, D.C., not Washington, D.C., I apologize, in Washington State. He wrote the book Killing Cancer, Not People, and that's what this is founded on.
Sure.
And Bob Wright is the founder. Dr. Leonard Coldwell is one of the board of directors, as well as Dr. Brzezinski and Bill Henderson, who wrote the book about curing cancer. So they are all on the board of directors, and this is an institute where we can help people heal themselves naturally without the chemo, without the radiation. If they already are going through chemo and radiation, that's their choice, but the American Anti-Cancer Institute helps those people as well, helps them to build up their immune system, helps them to get more healthy. If they so choose to do that, then they'll realize what the natural alternatives are all about. And this is an institute that is not funded by the government, has no government funding whatsoever. It is not a race for the cure because there's already cures for cancer There is lots of cures for cancer. There is many, many, many preventions of cancer. It is not hereditary that people like to think. So anyway, we're doing this gala to raise awareness for this particular institute and to raise awareness for natural cures, for that matter. And Bob Wright will be at the gala as our honored speaker that evening. He'll be coming in from Washington. We do have other people coming in for the 2-day festival, which I'll tell you about that. But this gala is a fine dining, black tie, organic, all totally 100% organic meal, 4-course meal that is catered by Chef Lynette Pate, which is actually my son from Vernon, New Jersey. So he has an awesome, awesome menu. You can find it on the website. We are having a silent auction, just as you mentioned, Michael. We have lots of great items to offer the public. And we will be having an eco-friendly fashion show just for the entertainment part of the night, which is very fun. I have an awesome designer who designed my clothing for my contest and pageant, which I'll tell you about that in a moment. She does clothing out of hemp, silk, soy, and bamboo. Bamboo is her main squeeze of her clothing. So she will be there showcasing her awesome eco-friendly fashion show because, again, our clothes are toxic. I don't expect everybody to go completely the way that I do, but I hope that we can turn that way in the future. So anyway, that is Friday night, April 12th. Like you said, the doors do open at 4 p.m. for silent auction bidding and for some appetizers and to visit the vendors. The vendors at the gala are specifically there for the anti-cancer with different means for that. We didn't want to overload it with vendors, so there will be 20 vendors there for you to visit and get lots of great information from. We also have the 2-day organic festival that, again, will be held at the White House Theater in Branson, and that will be Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. both days, and we have a awesome lineup of speakers so far. In fact, Michael, you will be one of our speakers that we just uploaded on the website last night. Yes, so thank you for that very much.
Thank you.
We also have Dr. Patrick Vickers coming in from Mexico. He runs the Gerson treatment out of Mexico, and he is an awesome educator on drug cure, curing people for their drug addictions, curing cancer as well. So he'll be speaking at the festival. We have my friend Shan Stratton of Core Health Products. He's also the consultant of the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. He formulated his natural living enzymes that is very vital to our organs. So Shan Stratton will be one of our speakers. We have Chris Work with Chris Beat Cancer. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. He will be there speaking. We also have a phenomenal holistic dentist that is one of the second best holistic dentists in the nation. He has also thermography that he introduces instead of mammograms. He does thermography. How does that relate to dentists? Because instead of doing x-rays, he does thermography, so you're not radiated. He is the best leading dentist to clean your mercury out of your teeth. So he will be there speaking, and he will speak on the benefits of your teeth health, which root canals and different teeth ailments relate back to breast cancer and different cancers. So he is going to be there enlightening us on that subject. And the list just goes on and on. We have Lynn Pence with Gardening Revolution. We have Ian Jacqueline with I Cure Cancer. He is out in California. He is doing a documentary on the cures of cancer. So we have so many awesome, phenomenal speakers from across the nation that will be there. We have Dr. Joy Watson, who is a holistic doctor in our own backyard in Farming, Blue Eye, Missouri. So we have lots of people for everyone to come and hear, get great information. If you know a loved one or if your family or a friend has cancer, has diabetes, has any kind of ailment or sickness, this is an event that you will not want to miss. You will definitely want to come and bring a guest. We also have a kid-friendly section for the Organic Festival. We have Monsanto Man coming out. So dump the Monsanto Man at the kids' corner. We have lots of kid activities going on. And we have lots of vendors.
Dump the Monsanto Man.
Yep.
I love that.
Dump the Monsanto Man. Say no to GMOs. So that will be available. And we just have a lot of unique and interesting vendors that will be present at our gala and the 2-day Organic Festival. The gala, of course, is at Friday night, April 12th, and the tickets are only $85 per person, and that is also tax deductible because the benefits will be going to the American Anti-Cancer Institute,
Sure.
and also the benefits from the Organic Festival will be going to that as well as helping keep the tours going across the nation.
Right.
So the tickets are $85 per person, and that ticket enables you for a ticket for the 2-day pass of the Organic Festival, which those are normally $15 for 2 days or $10 for each day. Also, we'll have some great raffle prizes going on. We will have some other raffle prizes going on at the Gala as well as the Organic Festival. If you call in from today until Wednesday, we are actually offering buy one ticket at $85, get your second one for a loved one or a guest at $42. So that's half off. Buy
Gotcha.
one, get one half off. That is a phenomenal deal. And in the event that you cannot come to the Gala, please consider purchasing a can't come ticket so that we could donate that ticket to someone who would not have the means to otherwise come that desperately needs to
That's
hear
a good
the
idea.
message.
That's
Yes,
a good
so
idea.
purchase a can't come ticket.
Okay. And so that you'll have a will call ticket for somebody there
Yes.
who couldn't ordinarily afford to pay for the ticket. That's a great idea.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yes.
So, the issue as far as I see it is that we are in a position where our food supply is truly at risk. I mean, we have a gal, Doreen Hannes, who joins us on Fridays, and Doreen is she is a firestorm against the GMO movement and the destruction of our food supply and the way that our food supply is essentially being taken over by these multinational mega corporations who, for all intents and purposes now, are actually, it's gotten to the point where they're actually patenting products so that, if you grow it, you owe them money. And the idea being, of course, if you own the food supply, you own the nation, right? Who's not going to do what you tell them to do if you say, well, your kids are going hungry today?
Exactly.
We've become such a dependent society upon government and so that it's not even unnatural for us to think, well, we can become dependent upon Monsanto, and they're just one of many, many companies that are out there that are, for all intents and purposes, destroying the fabric of America and the health of our nation. And we don't even know what this GMO stuff does. But the early tests that are being done do not bode well for it. And
No.
that's as an example, one of the reasons why we push folks so heavily on this show to make sure that you are self-reliant. We have a little co-op that we put together where we allow folks to buy bulk food and that type of thing, because it's not
Awesome.
just a question of and that they buy that at wholesale, because it's not just a question of what's going into your food, but it's also a question of making sure that you have enough to get through lean times. And we see our country faltering in so many different levels, and we see all of our what we believed and what we grew up believing America to be, to being tossed aside, or kind of the baby thrown out with the bathwater, so to speak. And that can't turn out well.
No, it cannot. And like you said, the GMOs haven't even been tested. This is the reason why I'm on the mission and the crusade that I'm on, Michael, is because I actually grew up on Monsanto farming, eating the poisons, eating the soybeans, eating the Roundup. But my grandparents thought it was just phenomenal and the best thing, and they were in it to feed the nation. They were not in it for greed. But people do not realize that GMOs have been around since 1964. They were introduced to the USA in 1972, and Northeast Arkansas was slam dunked, were the first test grounds on my grandparents' farms and many other farms in the Northeast area. I had kidney surgery, kidney failure at the ripe old age of 8 years old, and then it was on a downwind spiral ever since then, 25 years of in and out of the hospital, in the emergency room. Then on top of that, I gave my son a disease that I later found out from a doctor in Switzerland. He was born with a rare disease called respiratory papillomatosis, also known as a human papillomavirus. You can find all of that complete story on my website. But he had 27 surgeries, 2 near-death experiences with 7 different surgeons. So my kidney, my son's disease, was all directly related to eating the poisonous Roundup crops and the genetically modified soybeans that people do not realize. Everybody wants to post that it's been around, GMOs were introduced in 1994. No, try 1964, but in the USA, 1972.
Right. And so we have we've been growing up with this all of our lives.
Yes,
we've
but
got
they kept it hushed.
We've got our bottom of the hour break coming up, and folks, when we come back, we'll speak more with Lynette, and we'll also take any calls. If you'd like to make a call to us and ask a question of Lynette, you can do that on our Wits End Classic Barbershop hotline. The number is 257-1111 or 866-554-6636. You can find Lynette's website as well. We'll give you all of that information when we return.
1, The Point, and Ryan's Family Restaurant.
All right, we're back, and we are discussing the issue of organic foods with Lynette Pate. Lynette is the creator of and the author, by the way, of Fuel for the Body. It's a book that she has created and written, and she has a whole host of different projects that she's running. She has a website that you can get to, which is fuelforthebody.org. You can also visit fuelforthebody.net, and that is the page that is related to the event coming up on April 12th in Branson. And then also you can find her Facebook page at facebook.com/fuel for the body. Lynette, you've got quite a following on Facebook, and you've got a great site there where you've got all kinds of information, including, I guess, availability of your book on your direct website.
Yes.
Will you have books available on the 12th at the event?
Yes, books will be available, and we will be doing book signings. Bob Wright's book will be available as well, Killing Cancer, Not People. So you'll have access to both books while you're at the gala and the festival. Gotcha.
So your slogan here is Fuel for the Body, to enlighten and empower the nation on living an organic and sustainable lifestyle. Whenever I hear the word sustainable, it's usually in relation to the government telling us that we have to be sustainable, which always tells me Agenda 21 is the real goal there.
Right.
I get real shy about the word sustainable, but in your case, because we're talking about food supply, it's a completely different content or context, I should say.
Exactly.
And it really is a question of, we strongly encourage our folks around here to be self-reliant in terms of growing their own food so that they know what's actually in it.
Bingo.
And, we encourage them to use heirloom seeds, and especially those that are not owned by Monsanto.
Very good. Yes, definitely. We don't want GMO seeds.
Well, the problem is Monsanto has bought, I can't think of the name of the company now. I've forgotten it right off the top of my head. But
they bought so many.
Well, they recently bought one and now have the name heirloom in their seeds, and so you've got to be careful that you choose which ones are appropriate or not owned by Monsanto, because of course they're basically trying to pollute the seed inventory out there on a global basis.
Yes.
And so, but our goal here around here is to, one, raise your own livestock if that's at all possible. If you live in town or something like that, sometimes it's not, but you can still raise your own chickens or some rabbits or something locally. And then in addition to that, grow your own food, and you don't need a whole lot of property to accomplish that.
No, you do not. Very little property.
It's not like a family needs more than a small garden plot. I'm reminded of the Victory Garden that everybody grew in Europe during World War II, which, people would plant, a sidewalk-sized garden and literally feed their entire family with it. And we've forgotten the principles of that. We really now at this point live on a lifestyle where we expect to be able to run to the store for everything and those kinds of things. And I'm disturbed by that trend, because I think that, one, we don't know what's in our food. Two, we don't have any stores of food to get through lean times or places where even just a localized emergency where you just can't get to the store.
Right.
I think they say that the average family has no more than like 3 days worth of food, and that's pretty frightening. The example I'm given is when we had that Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, right? There are people who still don't have electricity and still don't have refrigeration and still don't have flush toilets. That's insane. And here we are months afterwards, right? So it's not just a situation where the economy goes to hell in a handbasket or inflation kicks in. All of those are great reasons, but it's also just natural disasters and things like that.
Yes.
So, do you have a program where you encourage people to, do their own gardening and that kind of thing? I mean, is there anything along?
Absolutely. I refer them to my different gardeners, such as Lynn Pate, to teach them how to garden. But I also refer them. I have different resources of getting their real non-GMO and heirloom seeds. And people that want to know what they can start with, because I know everybody cannot go cold turkey. I help them to clean out their pantries. I mean, I did. I threw everything out. Chemicals, cosmetics, toiletries, food, you name it, I did it. But I don't expect everybody's going to do that right off the bat. But I do help them to wean off of their habits over a period of 3 to 6 months. They let me see what's in their pantries. Even if I don't live in the area, they let me know, and I tell them what they can start changing and getting out of their pantries first, and we start weaning out. If they live in an apartment, they can do the garden towers, which is amazing. They can do potted herbs. Mm-hmm. You can grow anything inside. You can grow anything outside on a patio. And the tower gardens, they do have soil in it, but it's mainly water. And those grow an abundance of food for a family of 4 to 8. So those are amazing, and they are very, very economical, very small. You can, like I said, if you live in an apartment, if you live in a one-room apartment, a studio, it doesn't matter. You can still grow your own food. So I teach people how to do that, and if I don't know how to do it exactly, I have all the resources to let them know how to do it, no matter what area of the U.S. that they live in.
Sure. We had a gal on the other day. She runs this great little website. She's a local girl here. She started this business in November. It's called half-pinthomestead.com. And she builds these it's a fodder garden that you can literally run in your living room. And every day you can get pounds and pounds and pounds of fodder. But you can also, she grows wheatgrass, which is her primary thing in there for animals. But you can also juice that. And I'm told it's very good for you. I've not actually tried it, but I'm told it's probably one of the best juiceable things that you can do. But anyway,
Absolutely.
she's got this great little product, and she literally has within 2 months. She started this in November. Within 2 months, she literally had to quit her job, and now she's shipping them all over the country and all over the world. And so,
wow,
yeah.
What is it that she's shipping? The tools to make
It's a kit literally that's made out of PVC pipe and these little bins that are pre-cut and pre-set up, and a pump system that literally these bins, you just rotate them, and within a week you've got every day you've got pounds and pounds of fodder that you can. She's got this unit big enough to literally feed a calf and a cow every day. I mean, 100% of all of their food would come from this fodder kit. It's really truly incredible.
Okay.
And she, so we're looking for unique and individual products like that really help to enhance not only what you can do, because if you literally live, let's say, in a community, in a city where you all you can have is chickens, well, she's got a smaller kit that you can literally feed all of the chickens that you can possibly keep on a small plot of land. And then you
need to have her out at the festival so she can show people. You need to get in touch with her. Wow.
I'll get you her information. You can find her at half-pinthomestead.com. But we had her on last week, and I'll tell you what a unique product and a great opportunity for people to be able to live self-reliantly and garden in your own space,
Right.
And it's so important that or just a little herb garden in the windowsill even, anything that you can do where it doesn't require a whole lot of effort and energy. I mean, personally, I don't have much of a green thumb, but and part of that is I just don't have the time to really focus on it. I got just too many things going on, but I do realize that gardening is probably the number one thing that we can do. Especially, I mean, even if we just take into account the cost of the rise of inflation, it is staggering what vegetables now cost in the store.
Oh, exactly. It's insane.
I mean, they keep telling us, there's no inflation, but all I got to do is walk into the store, and I know they're lying through their teeth.
Oh, right.
I mean, the cost of meat is through the roof. The cost of vegetables is through the roof. And then again, when you're buying those vegetables, you don't even know what you're getting. So at least if you're growing your own, one, you're eliminating that inflationary cost to your wallet, and two, you know what's in it. And that's probably the most important thing,
That's the thing.
We've
know
got
what's in your food.
We've got a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, hi. I just want to find out about the chickens. Since we mentioned the chickens, I kind of wonder if the lady, she seems like she got a lot of knowledge. Would she answer to me, can you keep the chickens away from the hawk and the bald eagle if you have a goose, like a two geese? Would the geese chase the hawk and that white eagle? I wonder if she could answer that question.
Well, we'll let her answer that question. Go ahead, Lynette. I'm not sure if you have an answer to that. I'm not sure that.
I don't, honestly. I mean, to keep the chickens in a certain place.
I think she meant, can they be protected from, predators?
Actually, people think that chickens, that all of these predators are just going to pounce on them left and right. They do at nighttime if you don't put them up in their pens. And most sustainable farmers, what we mean by sustainable is letting the earth take care of itself, letting the animals and everything take care of nature. But most of the farmers that I know that are true free range, the chickens roam all over the place. They play with the cows, they play with the pigs, they're all over the place. Then at night, the chickens know where they can go roost, and they get locked up in their pen. That's how the predators stay away. There's very few instances, unless there's just a crazy mad dog that just loves chasing chickens.
Right.
But
as long as you've got a
you
coop or something, generally you're okay with that, And
Right.
heck, you can build that for just out of scrap wood and that kind of thing. So
Exactly.
we're gonna take a quick break. When we return, we'll take one or two more phone calls if we can, and we'll be right back with Lynette Pate. Hang on a second, folks. We'll return in just a moment. Right. We are joined again by Lynette Pate. Lynette runs a website that you folks need to be aware of. It's called fuelforthebody.org. She also owns fuelforthebody.net and has a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/fuelforthebody. She makes it really easy. Just type in fuelforthebody.org.net or right after facebook.com / and then fuelforthebody. We're going to take a couple calls, if that's okay with you, Lynette, and we'll just...
yes.
Go ahead, caller. Oh, I guess we lost her. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, the lady that was calling about the chickens and stuff.
Yes.
We raised chickens. We did have the coop. We also built a fence around so they had a chicken yard that they could roam in.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing to us was my great aunt built the house itself, and she built it under a tree, which helped prevent the hawks and stuff from swooping down.
Good point.
And stuff, and it really did help. I mean, about the only time I ever lost one was to a possum, and it was sitting on the roost with them that night and stuff. And I don't know how it got in there, but it did.
Gotcha.
And stuff. But the limbs really helped. I mean, the older people, I guess, they knew how to do things, and stuff. And the limbs on that tree actually, because I've got them all over my place all the time.
Right.
It actually prevented them from swooping down and nabbing the chickens and stuff.
Great idea, though. Thank you very much for that that input. So, folks, basically, what the argument is there is if you've got if you're going to build a chicken coop, build it underneath a tree,
There you go.
or any kind of little livestock. That includes rabbits, by the way. So we do have a lot of hawks around here, and they will swoop in and grab stuff if they get a chance to. So, go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike and Lynette, it's Mike and Thayer. How you guys?
Hey, Mike and Thayer.
Hello.
Hey, I wondered, Lynette, you are also advocating raising hemp, aren't you? Industrial hemp.
Oh, yes. Raising hemp for industrial. That is one of my main squeezes. One of my sponsors is Manitoba Harvest. I do incorporate that in my diet every day, but hemp is for food, clothing, shelter, and livelihood, and biofuel.
I'm going to tell you guys a little known fact, but Henry Ford built an entire car body out of hemp that resembled fiberglass back in the day. And, I mean, this was in 1918,
Right.
something like that. He literally built an automobile body out of hemp. And the only reason, commercial industrial hemp is illegal to grow, and I guess for commercial farmers, is because it resembles the marijuana plant, and they can't tell from the air whether it's marijuana or hemp, so they just basically outlawed it, which,
Right.
is kind of tragic, actually, in and of itself, right?
Yes, there's a whole situation of why it was all outlawed. There's a whole story behind the real, true meaning of why they outlawed that instead of other things.
Right.
All about money.
DuPont is involved in that, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. There's I mean, look, anytime you want to look at why there's a monopoly out there for something, folks, follow the money. That's the simple reality of it. So.
Well, I knew that hemp was great for making construction materials and biofuel, both biodiesel and alcohol.
Yes, absolutely.
And at Go Green, Lynette gave me some hemp seeds that I
yes,
ate.
We made some scrumptious hemp balls, didn't we? Dark cacao chocolate hemp balls, and they were good for you to eat every day, which we'll be having those to sell at the festival. We'll be having those available to buy pretty much anywhere. Hopefully we'll get that going, and we'll have the hemp butter as well. We'll be marketing our hemp butter pretty soon. And then also if you go to the festival and the gala, remember I told you our organic and eco-friendly clothing designer?
Yes.
You will have hemp clothing there, so food, clothing, and shelter. There
cool.
you go.
My daughter's really into the hemp clothing, and she's got a bunch of different things. And, you know, it really does make very resilient material. I mean,
awesome. Yes, it really does.
It really does. It's pretty amazing. So, Mike, thank you very much for that call and that idea.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap up. Did you have a couple of folks that you just wanted to kind of and give us all the information on how we can reach you and that kind of thing before the end of the show?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can reach me, like you said, on the website at fuelforthebody.org, all spelled out. And for those of you wanting to purchase tickets for the gala, you can go on fuelforthebody.net. Now, remember I said, Mike, that from now until Wednesday, and especially those that are listening to this call, you have to call 417-429-3559 if you want to take advantage of the buy one ticket, get one for half off, because that offer is not available online as we have a ticket company. So to get that offer, please call us at 417-429-3559 to get those tickets. And this, again, is an event that you definitely don't want to miss. If you can't attend the gala, please consider purchasing a Can't Come ticket so that we can donate to someone else who could benefit from this vital information. Also, Mike, I would like to thank you as one of our contributing sponsors for getting the word out across the nation and across to the public about this event. We have some great sponsors for the event, such as Valeria Day Spa, Valeria Walking Your Wellness Clinic is what it is in Springfield, Missouri, owned by Rhonda Bertelson. That is a great place to get your colon hydrotherapy, to get your far infrared sauna, to get your fresh products, your Celtic sea salt, many things that she has over there that I mention in my book. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Tuning Element, which is an awesome stainless steel bracelet that helps to keep you grounded to the earth. If you know anything about earthing and grounding, you definitely want to check out Tuning Element. Then we have another local sponsor in Harrison, Arkansas, which is Nature's Wonders Health Food Store. They're an amazing company over there that's actually been there for 30 years, and they have a wide choice of very inexpensive organic goods, from produce to boxed items to breads, you name it, eggs, and free-range meats. So go over there and check out Nature's Wonders in Harrison. Then we also have an upcoming that's soon to be going to get lots of organics incorporated in their store, Sunfest Food Market right here in Branson, Missouri, that people don't realize. They're actually going to be starting an organic farmers market the end of April, and they are already incorporating a lot of organics and hydroponics in their store right now. So Sunfest Food Market in Branson, Missouri. And then our last but certainly not least is our amazing sponsor, Fresh Products out of New York, owned by Howard Hoffman. This is an amazing living food that I always talk about. Don't eat yourself to death, eat yourself to life. So you want to have living foods instead of dead foods. Well, Howard has formulated, I know everybody can't sit there and eat their greens like I do and eat them every single day and as much as we need, and especially me, even on the go. I need a little help here and there.
Sure.
But even if you do eat this, if you don't, it takes 1 teaspoon of these living fresh greens into 1 glass of water, and you have your full amount of greens, from wheatgrass to kale to broccoli to everything, all living enzyme foods in this fresh product with Howie Hoffman. And there are many others that we will thank throughout the year. But anyway, those are our great sponsors for this event, so we want to give a huge shout-out thank you to them. And, of course, I want to give a little note to Jill Saunders and Cassie Jackson, who are my side helpers helping put on this great event.
Gotcha.
And we have some local entertainers here. You all want to come and hear the local entertainers they will be having at the event, too, Mike. We have some great ones that people just won't want to miss.
Sure. You know, I was on your Facebook page, and one of the things I like is that one of the top quotes that you have there is, if people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines they take, their bodies will soon be in as sorry a state as are the souls of those who live under tyranny. And that was by Thomas Jefferson.
Exactly.
And, you know, I quote Thomas Jefferson all the time because I think he's probably, you know, one of the finest of the founders, and he was a man of great wisdom and inspiration, and truly had his eye on the benefit and the good that could come of you know, he really put aside his own personal goals and his own personal benefit for the nation. And I'll tell you, the guy was just a font of wisdom. If you've ever had an opportunity to go to Monticello and learn about him or read any of his writings, he was truly a man of great inspiration and spirituality. And I don't mean spirituality in a religious sense. I just mean the guy really had his head on straight. And he was a strong constitutionalist in large part because he wrote a great portion of it. But, you know, he was just a true Renaissance man. He knew so much about so much. And
yes, indeed.
Here we go. You know, if people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines they take, their bodies will soon be in as sorry a state as are the souls of those who live under tyranny. And that is an absolute
what we're
truth.
living today. That is exactly what we're living. You let the government decide what you eat, they decide what your fate is.
Absolutely.
Oh, why am I getting sick? Why can't I knock this cold? Why can't I seem to get out of this hospital?
Right. Hey, just take these pills and it'll all go away.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Take
right.
one of these and call me in the morning, and the next morning, and the next morning,
Sure.
the next morning.
One of the things that I'd like, and I should really have you back on again another time, and I'll tell you why.
Yes.
One of the questions I have for you, and we don't have the time for it this morning because we're about to run out for the day, but talking about food and nutrition versus depression, because you know 40 to 45% of America is on some kind of a Prozacian type, you know, feel good pill, right? And
yes,
you know,
are.
mommy's little helper kind of thing from the Stones days, right? Except now it's called Prozac or Paxil or something else. And I think that, you know, a large part of that is, one, everybody's just frankly disgusted at where they see our country going, and rather than face the facts, they just try to avoid it. But more importantly, I think a lot of it is directly related to our food supply and what we eat and how we eat and all the rest of that.
Is.
So
I've tested that many times. It definitely is.
Well, perhaps you'd be willing to come back on and chat with us about that someday.
Oh, absolutely. Would love to.
And if not, I hope everybody will show up on April 12th and at White House Theater in Branson, because I'm sure you'll be able to cover it there. So thank you so much for joining with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having us, Michael. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. We'll see you on April 12th at Worst Case. Right. Thank you. Okay, folks, that was Lynette Pate and Organic Guru. And I hope you appreciated and enjoyed this show. She's a font and a wealth of information. You can certainly find more of her information on our Facebook page and also on our website. You can find us at americasvoicenow.org. And you can also find us on facebook.com/America's Voice Now. We'll also make sure that we post this and every other show that we do up to YouTube. And you can find us there at youtube.com/America's Voice Now. We make it really easy, and we hope that you enjoyed this show. We'll be back tomorrow morning.